to Just Minding My Business Radio, where we are moving at the speed of God, learning what we didn't know we didn't know. I'm your host, Ida Crawford.
And I'm your co-host, Ruth Haskins.
So grab a pen and paper and get ready for information that you can use.
Today, we continue a series of interviews of contributing authors from the upcoming anthology release, Drop the Mask, Share the Crown, inspired by the visionary author Dawn Leak, who is herself an international author, speaker, and 4 times best-selling author. We have Anika Cohen, who is an international speaker, business strategist coach, 4-time best-selling author, certified Christian life coach, and counselor of co-occurring disorders. Anika propels her community to set intentions to create intentional strategic movement forward that will formulate transformation mentally, emotionally, and physically in their lifestyles. It's Anika's mantra that minor steps create major impact. In that vein, she continues to take minor steps in her life as a contributing author to the soon-to-be-released, sure-to-be success anthology, Drop the Mask, Share the Crown. Welcome, Anika.
Yes. Well,
hello, ladies.
Wow, I love it. I absolutely love it. So tell us a little bit about how you got started on the road that you're on now.
It was November 2007 when 2 masked gunmen entered my home and held me at gunpoint while my 3 and my 4-year-old sons was in the next room. And so it was in that moment when I was bound, my hands, my legs, my mouth duct tape, as I laid on the floor with the barrel to my head. And he asked me the question, he says, Anika, are you ready to die? And so it was literally in that moment that I began to chant silently to God. And I just began to say, if you give me another chance at life, if you give me another chance to do it over, I'll choose to do something different. Although I did not know what it looked or what it felt like to do anything different outside of the lifestyle that I was living, because my lifestyle was drug addiction. You know, I was using and I was selling drugs. And so I just lost sight of my dreams and aspirations. But it was in that moment of November 2007, as I laid prostrate before the Lord in my eyes, chanting for my life, I just began to say, I choose to live. I choose to live. I choose to live. And those 2 masked gunmen, they left my home and I was unhurt, unharmed. My 3 and my 4-year-old son was able to wake up to a mother, not a motherless body. And so it was from that moment moving forward, I gave God my yes. I didn't know what I was going to do. I didn't know how I was going to do it, but I knew I gave him my yes because I grew up in the church. I knew who God was, but I really didn't know who he was until he showed up in my life that day. And so I just began to figure it out. I gave my life to Christ and I began to figure out what my purpose was. And that led me to this path of publishing my first memoir, Diaries of an Elect Lady. And it was my first memoir. I became a best-selling author. And I just began to share my story. And it was with me sharing my story that I learned that my authenticity, me being vulnerable, me being transparent, was attracting women. It was attracting even men, and they were choosing to live. They were choosing to do something different. And so I was like, oh my gosh, my voice is power. My voice is power. And so that started my business, Choose to Live Enterprises, where we help individuals bring their dreams into a reality by start building or growing their business.
Wow. What an amazing story. What a testimonial.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. And the prayer that you said, it's just very moving.
Yeah.
Very moving.
It is said that there comes a time in everyone's life, but especially in anyone who has had a problem with addiction, some form of addiction, because there are so many forms. Right. It's called the Addicts Prayer. And it's called God Help Me, period. There's no, if I do this, if I do that, there's no bargaining. You get to that place, and that's where you were. You were in that place. There was no bargaining. It was God help me now.
Yes.
And that's powerful. That's
Yes.
how, and the fact that he did, that those men actually left and did not harm you at all, did not go in and harm your children. Only God could do that.
Only God can do that.
Only God could do that. You,
And the
you know,
miracle in that
absolutely.
was that they left, but they only took a PlayStation. That's what they took. And although I know what their intentions were to kill me. Because God works in mysterious ways. He was warning me time and time again to leave the relationship, leave the world. And I had one foot in and I had one foot out. And I just was so dependent on the lifestyle of, I don't know what to do if I'm not going to be in this relationship. So in that, I learned that I had my own identity. I learned to take back my dependence of men and rely on God and my ability to allow him to use me for who I am, because I'm not ashamed to say it. I depended on a man at that time to take care of me. And so now my ministry, my business is all about just helping women to own who they are. You don't have to live based on your past, because we all have one, but you can choose to do something different, and you can choose to do it in your own way.
Mhm.
Awesome. Very fine.
Wow.
Very fine.
Wow. We got our Bobby out there.
And there's Anika.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. Powerful story, powerful testimony.
Thank you.
Yes, indeed.
I hope people hear that and recognize the fact that, like you said, we all have a past. If you're old enough and you've lived long enough, we have a past, okay? But it doesn't have to be your future. It doesn't have to be your present. It doesn't have to be your future. You don't have to live there. You don't have to keep doing the same thing that you really don't want to do. And finding yourself is just so critical. And I think this world right now is about people finding themselves. And I see so much work happening with women who are really saying, no, I'm not going to do this anymore. I know that there's something better for me. And recognizing that it's attached to the understanding of the God of their understanding. That's where their power lies. And that's what we keep hearing on this program over and over again, that the power that we need, we have, and it is aligned with the God of our understanding. So that is we just love the stories that come to us. And I'm going to remember yours. That is a powerful testimony to survive at gunpoint. Yeah, I can understand that one. I understand.
Yes, for real. So drop the mask and share the crown. Give us a little bit of sneak peek about what you wrote about.
My title in the book is called 3 Power Principles of Collaboration in Career, Life, and Business. What I'm sharing is that in order to be successful in your own right, whatever that looks like and feels like to you, connection is the key. Collaboration is the key, because Ms. Crawford said it earlier, you cannot do it alone. We weren't meant to do it alone. We need each other. And so I really share about these principles and how they're practical. And if we can just lay aside the ego, if we can just lay aside the pride, if we can just lay aside those things that doesn't serve us or anyone else, we will be better off. We just have to make a choice to be vulnerable, allow ourselves to not know all the answers, because that's the problem most of the time, is we feel like we have to know all the answers. I got to get it right the first time. And I'm here to tell you that if you just give yourself grace, right? Give yourself permission to embrace the entire journey, you'll be better off. So the power in you being successful is collaboration. The power is in the connections, because my network is is always growing. And I believe that we are as big as our network. So I am intentional with surrounding myself with like-minded individuals. I'm intentional with linking arms with people who are on a higher prestige than me. They may be making 6-7 figures. That doesn't intimidate me anymore, right? Because I choose to put on a new mindset. I choose to say that I deserve a seat at the table as well. So I create the space. I create the opportunity by what? Linking arms, connecting, collaborating with like-minded individuals. So I run you down with those principles that are practical and you can begin to implement right away to make the difference in your own life, to create the narrative of your own life and not allowing the words or the judgment of other people to hold you hostage. It's time for you to choose to live. It's time for you to choose to propel forward because you owe it to yourself, nobody else. You owe it to yourself to choose to live, right?
Wow, I love it.
I
love it.
choosing to live.
Yes, Anika.
Yeah.
Yes, indeed.
I love you, Bobby.
Love you, Bobby. Thank you. Love me some insiders. Love you back. Mwah.
Yeah.
Wow.
You have to learn how to choose to live.
Really powerful and so true because a lot of times people do get intimidated being in a room with a 6-figure earner.
Yeah.
I mean, and I have to say I was there at one point. But not anymore. I know the power of being around a 6-figure earner. It all rubs off.
Amen. Amen.
It all rubs off because you are the product of your circle. So what is that saying, Ruth? The 8 people that you hang around with is consistent with your income or something.
Right.
I think you guys can, I can't always
remember that one, but yes.
Yeah, but I mean, you got to put the right people in your circle to grow. Even as I always say, if your muscle ain't strong enough, lean on somebody else's muscle.
Yes.
And help build yours.
Right.
Because, I mean, it's hard to change. Change is so difficult. Anyway, any way you slice it, it's hard. It's like creating good habits. It's very, very difficult. It's like that bad stuff want to latch onto you with the quickness. It's like all them bad habits, it's like they just like sitting there waiting to latch on. Whereas the good ones, you gotta really grab for them, and you really have to work hard to adapt them as part of your DNA. So, wow. Well, we are so happy that I can't wait till this book comes out.
Yes, this is going to be a powerful book.
It's just going to change a whole lot of lives.
Absolutely.
Your business, through Just Minding My Business Media, has exposure on internet radio, major social media platforms, and now TV. Through Just Minding My Business, dynamic digital marketing platform. Don't listen to the word on the street. Hear it for yourself. Visit jmmb.asistercircle.org to learn how you can take your business, your vision, to the next level. Voiceovers by RCH VoiceWorks, for when you want to be heard. Call 443-620-4115.
Thank you for tuning in to Just Minding My Business Radio. I'm your host, Ida Crawford.
And I'm your co-host, Ruth Haskins.
We hope you enjoyed the show and appreciate you stopping by. Many blessings to you and yours.